Hey everyone, and welcome back to Detroit Become Human. On this video, we're doing the chapter Waiting for Hank. And this chapter has two potential endings, however, based on the actions we took in the previous chapters, only ending one is possible. Find Amanda. And we're in a really cool looking Zen Garden. Okay, before we head over to Amanda, we want to come over to this stone thing.
Hello, Amanda.
Connor, it's good to see you. Congratulations, Connor. Finding that deviant was far from easy. And the way you interrogated it was very clever. You've been remarkably efficient, Connor.
Thank you, Amanda.
We've asked the DPD to transfer it to us for further study. It may teach us something about what happened. The interrogation seemed challenging. What did you think of the deviant?
Deviancy.
It showed all the signs of deviancy. Cognitive instability, unpredictable behavior, and the emulation of human emotions. It was even afraid to die. The model was clearly defective.
This Lieutenant Anderson has been officially assigned to the deviancy case. What do you make of him?
Unsure.
He's obviously not what I was expecting. But I don't have enough information yet to form a definitive opinion.
Unfortunately, we have no choice but to work with him. What do you think is the best approach?
Indifferent.
I will focus on the investigation and try to ignore him. As long as he doesn't interfere and we avoid conflict, he shouldn't be a problem.
More and more androids show signs of deviancy. There are millions in circulation. If they become unstable, the consequences will be disastrous. You're the most advanced prototype cyberlife has ever created. If anyone can figure out what's happening, it's you.
You can count on me, Amanda.
Hurry, Connor. There's little time.
Go to reception. Before we do that, let's take a look around.
You might be in shock. Just take it easy.
Yeah. Would you mind getting me some water, please?
Sure. There you go.
Thanks. I needed that.
Shouldn't be too long now.
Tensions in the Arctic have reached a new level. with a Russian carrier and an American patrol boat reported to have clashed last night. Several warning shots were exchanged, apparently with no damage or casualties to either side. The Minister for Defense, Dennis Riggs, has spoken of intolerable provocation that cannot go unanswered. The countries in the region, particularly Sweden and Canada, have called for military forces to withdraw and an international conference to be held. So far, there has been no response from either Moscow or Washington. We'll keep you informed minute by minute as the situation develops.
Can I help you?
I'm here to see Lieutenant Anderson.
Do you have authorization?
Yes.
Lieutenant Anderson hasn't arrived yet, but you can wait at his desk.
Find Lieutenant Anderson's desk.
I'm looking for Lieutenant Anderson's desk.
It's that desk right there.
Well, you can see the police are also using a lot of androids. Whole bunch of android cops. And we have a magazine. Detroit Today, famous Detroit painter dies. Carl Manfred, one of Detroit's brightest lights. UN warns of World War III. President Warren at 33% approval. Famous Detroit painter dies. Carl Manfred, one of Detroit's brightest lights. Reports of famous artist Carl Manfred's death have been confirmed. The coroners described a fatal cardiac event, induced by a stressful domestic situation. Manfred's son, Leo, has asked the media to respect his family's privacy at this difficult time. Carl Manfred rose to fame in the 2020s as a figurehead of neo-symbolism, with powerful and dark works in the mold of Francis Bacon. Proliferate years followed, until a dark period marked by alcohol and drugs. But the artist had apparently returned to work in recent months. The governor of Detroit expressed her condolences to the family on behalf of the city, describing Manfred as one of Detroit's brightest lights. A collection of Manfred's paintings will be auctioned by his estate in the coming weeks. That's sad. I like that guy. Detroit Today, Ivanov says niet. Russian president responds to Warren's warning. CyberLife, world's first trillion-dollar company. Global population reaches 10 billion. Ivanov says niet. Russian president responds to Warren's warning. Following President Warren's demand that all Russian troops withdraw from the Arctic immediately, President Ivanov of Russia has issued a response. Ivanov branded Warren's comments as megaphone diplomacy and said U.S. saber rattling is the #1 threat to stability in the region. The Kremlin produced a detailed statement outlining Russia's claims to the territory, and Ivanov said he would remind President Warren that the United States is subject to UN conventions, like everybody else. The conflict shows no signs of abating. Okay, so this is Anderson's desk.
Excuse me. Do you know what time Lieutenant Anderson usually arrives?
Depends on where he was the night before. If we're lucky, we'll see him before noon.
Thanks.
Hi, honey. Okay? Listen.
Progress the case. Go see the deviant. And learn about Lieutenant Anderson. Examine his desk. Explore police station. Knights of the Black Death. Dark heavy metal.
Call Hank Anderson.
Hi, this is Hank. Not here at the moment. You can leave a message if that's what turns you on, but don't expect me to call back. Beep. Whatever.
Sure. Let's leave a message.
Lieutenant Anderson, this is Connor. I'm the android sent by CyberLife. It's almost noon, and I'm waiting for you at the office.
Anti-android slogans. Use your brain, not your android. Android-free space. Detroit basketball cap. 90% cotton, 10% polyester. Detroit police dismantle a network of red ice dealers. More than 50 arrests throughout the country. Detroit's finest has dealt a massive blow to the city's growing red ice epidemic, with a number of high-profile dealers and suppliers now behind bars and narcotics seized with a street value of $500,000. Detective Hank Anderson, a young but hugely talented detective, is said to have been instrumental in the operation, which took months of planning. The DA described the work of Detective Anderson and his colleagues as model investigative police work. Detective Anderson promoted to the rank of lieutenant. This was August 22nd, 2029. This one was February 3rd, 2028. Becoming the youngest lieutenant on the Detroit police force, Lieutenant Hank Anderson was among the most decorated detectives in DPD's recent history, securing a number of high-profile arrests and serving as an integral member of the force. Captain Fowler said the promotion was long overdue, describing Anderson as among the most talented police I've ever worked with. The new lieutenant is expected to rise quickly through the ranks of the department and is already being tipped as a future commissioner. November 23rd, 2031. New record seizure of red ice in Detroit. Nearly a ton of red ice discovered in the hold of a boat after a long investigation conducted by Lieutenant Anderson of the Detroit Police Force. Red Ice Task Force 2027. Multi-department unit. Responsible for the Red Ice network dismantle of 2028. Matches. Origin, Jimmy's Bar, wood, phosphorus. Hairs, canine hairs, St. Bernard dog. Donuts, of course. Calories, 452, saturated fatty acids, 13 grams, cholesterol, 19 milligrams, and carbohydrates, 51 grams. Not very healthy. Japanese maple, Asian, Shishigashira Shohin. Coffee cup, cold coffee, traces of caffeine. Traces? Should be a lot more than traces. Lieutenant Anderson was a decorated officer.
It's good to see you again, Lieutenant.
Oh, Jesus.
Hank! In my office.
I've got 10 new cases involving androids on my desk every day. We've always had isolated incidents. Old ladies losing their android maids and that kind of crap. But now, we're getting reports of assaults and even homicide, like that guy last night. This isn't just CyberLife's problem anymore. It's now a criminal investigation, and we've got to deal with it before the shit hits the fan. I want you to investigate these cases and see if there's any link.
Why me? Why do I gotta be the one to deal with this shit? I am the least qualified cop in the country to handle this case. I know jack shit about androids, Jeffrey. I can barely change the settings on my own phone.
Everybody's overloaded. I think you're perfectly qualified for this type of investigation.
Bullshit! The truth is, nobody wants to investigate these fucking androids, and you left me holding the bag.
CyberLife sent over this android to help with the investigation. It's a state-of-the-art prototype. It'll act as your partner.
No fucking way! I don't need a partner, and certainly not this plastic prick.
Hank, you are seriously starting to piss me off. You are a police lieutenant. You are supposed to do what I say and shut your goddamn mouth.
You know what my goddamn mouth has to say to you?
Okay,
huh?
Okay. I'll pretend like I didn't hear that, so I don't have to add any more pages to your disciplinary folder, because it already looks like a fucking novel. This conversation is over.
Jeffrey, Jesus Christ, why are you doing this to me? You know how much I hate these fucking things. Why are you doing this to me?
Listen, I've had just about enough of your bitching. Either you do your job or you hand in your badge. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got work to do.
File.
I would like to start reviewing the case files. Can you tell me where I...
Talk to Hank. Close the door on your way out.
Have a nice day, Captain.
Okay, well, let's let him cool off. We'll take a look around.
Fuck, look at that. Our friend, the plastic detective, is back in town. Congratulations on last night. Very impressive.
Great.
Hello, Detective Reed.
Never seen an android like you before.
Hey,
Model are you?
take a look at these sounds.
Answer.
RK-800. I'm a prototype.
A prototype? Android detective. So machines are gonna replace us all. Is that it? Hey, bring me a coffee, dipshit. Get a move on!
Refuse.
I'm sorry, but I only take orders from Lieutenant Anderson.
Oh. If Hank hadn't gotten in the way yesterday, I would have fucked you up for disobeying a human. Stay out of my way. Because next time, you won't get off so easy.
Several sources report that CyberLife has provided Detroit police with a prototype detective android. Although police assistant androids have existed for several years now, this would be the first case of an android being authorized to play an active role in criminal investigations. We contacted CyberLife for comment, but no one was available to answer our questions.
The first book written by an artificial intelligence has just been published, and to call it a success would be an understatement. Do Humans Dream of Mammalian Sheep has shot to the top of the bestseller list. Moreover, critics are unanimous in their praise for the depth of thought and originality of this first work. Designed by CyberLife, the AI known as Voltaire analyzed human centers of interest on social networks for several months before its complex algorithms generated the plot of the novel. According to several specialists, it will be very difficult for human authors to compete with these algorithms, and the odds are that most of the books written in the coming years will be the work of artificial intelligence.
AI authors. They can do it all. We're all gonna get replaced. Let's see, we got the observation room. Some sort of interrogation going down, but unfortunately, we can't listen in. Let's go to the restroom and freshen up. Connor is very concerned about his image.
What? What are you looking at? Hey, fuck you! Fucking android.
They're going to destroy me.
Compassionate.
I'm sorry. It's not what I wanted. But there's nothing I can do. I know there's something you didn't tell me. I need to know before they take you away.
Statuette.
The sculpture you made. Tell me more about it.
I'm going to die.
Open the cell, quick! Hurry!
I'll call Cyberlife. Clean this mess up.
Well, so much for getting our questions answered. That sucks. Alright, let's go check in on Hank. Let's go with understanding.
I get the impression my presence causes you some inconvenience, Lieutenant. I'd like you to know I'm very sorry about that.
Partners.
Now that we're partners, it would be great to get to know each other better.
Positive.
In any case, I'd like you to know I'm very happy to be working with you. I'm sure we'll make a great team.
Desk.
Is there a desk anywhere I could use?
No one's using that one.
Analyze deviancy files.
You really need the forensics.
Dog.
You have a dog, right?
How do you know that?
The dog hair's on your chair. I like dogs. What's your dog's name?
What's it to you? Sumo. I call him Sumo.
Music.
Do you listen to Knights of the Black Death? I really like that music. It's full of energy.
You listen to heavy metal?
Well, I don't really listen to music as such, but I'd like to.
Fowler.
Have you known Captain Fowler for long?
Yeah. Too long.
Hours.
I was wondering, do you always arrive at the office at this time?
I arrive when I arrive. Stop busting my balls, okay?
Start working.
If you have any files on deviants, I'd like to take a look at them.
Terminal's on your desk. Knock yourself out.
Case reference, disappearance, victim Gordon Lopez. Case status is open, involving Android, yes. The plaintiff reports that he left his Android at home as usual when he went to work. When he returned, the Android was nowhere to be found. No trace of a break-in in the apartment. The Android may have left the home without being ordered to. Case reference, attack, victim Charles Bell. Case status is open, involving Android, yes. The plaintiff claims to have been attacked by a AV500 number 234777821 model Android working as a waiter in the Fast Coney Dogs restaurant chain situated at 842 Chamberlain Avenue. The plaintiff claims the android lunged at him unexpectedly and attempted to strangle the man before leaving the scene. The android remains at large. Case reference, attack, victim Sarah Cornwall. Case status is open, involving Android, yes. The plaintiff claims to have been attacked by her Android, an AP700 number 480-913-802 model. The Android also trashed several rooms in the house before taking flight. Case reference, disappearance, victim Floyd Mills. Case status open, involving Android, yes. The plaintiff, the manager at the Eating Club, reported the unexplained disappearance of a sex android, model WR400, number 641790831. The android disappeared after accompanying a customer to his home and never returned to the club. Case reference, attempted murder, victim Leo Manfred. Case status solved, involving android, yes. Famous painter Carl Manfred was found dead in his home following an altercation between his android and his son. The latter's witness statement attests to the android behaving violently. The android is thought to be a prototype, unknown model and serial number, and was destroyed at the scene by attending officers. Case reference, homicide, victim Todd Williams. Case status open, involving android, yes. The victim's body was found by a friend who came by to say hello. He immediately called the emergency service at 842, who recorded death by gunshot wound. The murder weapon may have belonged to the victim. His android, an AX400, was not found on the scene and is the main suspect. Okay, now let's scan all files.
"243 files. First dates back 9 months. It all started in Detroit and quickly spread across the country. An AX400 is reported to have murdered a man last night. That could be a good starting point for our investigation.
Professional.
I know you didn't ask for this investigation, Lieutenant, but I'm sure you're a professional.
Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Determined.
I've been assigned this mission, Lieutenant. I didn't come here to wait until you feel like working.
Listen, asshole. If it was up to me, I'd throw the lot of you in a dumpster and set a match to it. So stop pissing me off. Or things are gonna get nasty.
Lieutenant? I'm sorry to disturb you. I have some information on the AX-400 that killed the guy last night. It's been sighted in the Ravendale district.
I'm on it.
Okay, and that is the end of the chapter. We got the trophy, know your partner. Well, we know how to piss him off at least. Alright, let's turn on the world stats. We're in the Zen Garden. We found Amanda. Hidden node there. Not accessible based on my actions so far. And find the magic stone. Only 18% did that. Okay, talk with Amanda. Arrive at the police station. Find Lieutenant Anderson. Android was saved in the interrogation. So we got those options. We talked with Carlos's android. And then he self-destructed. We explored the station. We talked with Gavin. Only 35% did that. We read the magazine there and the magazine there. 41% and 61%. We examined the desk. We followed Hank into Fowler's office. We learned about Hank. He arrived. He stormed out of Fowler's office. We talked to him, we examined the files, we talked about the case, we pissed him off, and Hank got a lead. 98% of people got that ending rather than the other ending. Alrighty, let's jump out to the main menu for some extras.
Accessing the extras section.
Okay, we have 520 available points. We unlocked a new soundtrack. Go to Hell, Rocket 455. Or 455, I'm not sure which. Rocket 455, sure. Go to Hell. Detroit rock and roll. To most people, this phrase conjures up visions of Iggy. To others, it may bring to mind the recent explosion of bands from the Motor City. But to those in the know, Detroit rock and roll means one thing only. Rocket 455. Absolutely, these boys were influenced by the classic Detroit sound. But Rocket took that sound further. They added to it. They used it only as one of many building blocks in their own amazing sound. Rocket 455 put rock and roll back on track and paved the way for the Detroit bands you know today. It's not surprising to anyone in Detroit that the underground music scene has caught up with Rocket 455 20 years later. Seems these boys are always ahead of their time. Unfortunately, although Rocket is now a music legend within the Motor City sprawl, rather unjustly, they never received the widespread recognition they deserved outside this area. They never were able to fully capture on vinyl the Midwestern, angst-fueled rock and roll energy of their live show. The venerable collection of songs is as close as you're going to get to that live show. Okay, and we have just enough points to unlock one item in the gallery, or one character in the gallery. And that's gonna be Amanda. Five foot 143 pounds. Bit older, born in 1978. Amanda is the handler of the Connor series, responsible for investigating the Deviant issue on behalf of Cyberlife. Connor reports to her through a graphic interface, allowing them to stay in constant contact. If Amanda is an advisor and guide for Connor in his investigations, she also has the power to deactivate him at any time. And just go into magazines to get rid of that new, so it doesn't bother me. All right, we are all done here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.